Okay, everybody. Uh, this is medieval medicine. Let me get rid of this thing if it's in the way. It's my first screen recording, guys. Okay, this is a picture of Ash from the movie Army of Darkness. He goes back in the Middle Ages. It's a pretty cool movie. You should check it out. Okay. Now, a little overview of medicine back in the Middle Ages, in the medieval times. Uh, so basically, the religious belief of Christianity was what kind of controlled the whole medical field back then. Everything they did was really just based on like beliefs um, with God and stuff like that. So it wasn't really like scientific. Even the best doctors during this time left many things up to just beliefs and magic and kind of just superstitious stuff like that. Um, and they didn't really, allow a lot of practices because it could be against the religion. So, for example, they forbid cutting people open even after death to see, I guess, of course, after death, to see what was going on in their body. So the only anatomy they understood was that of a pig because that was the only thing they were allowed to like look into. So they kind of just assumed that humans had the same anatomy as a pig, which is kind of dumb. I mean, look at their size; it can't happen. Um, Personal hygiene was very frowned upon. Nobody really practiced anything like that. Nobody really cared because, priests were saying that after baptism, why do you even need to take a bath? You already had God's bath. What do you need to take another one for? Maybe he's got a plan. I don't know. But uh, probably not because a lot of people died. Okay, so moving on. Here's some doctors and their qualifications that I made. Um, Only the high class people could afford physicians, which were like actual doctors, and everybody else had to find just local practitioners who had even more sketchier methods. So um, the best doctors came from the school of Salerno, which was the first medical school in Europe. And Hippocrates went there. A lot of nice, well-known people went there. They spent 3 years in preliminary studies and 5 of medical. So they spent a lot of time there. That's 8 years, and pretty much for nothing, to be honest, because they didn't know anything. I mean, look at this picture. I mean, he's taking out some like I don't know what is that, a demon? I don't know, octopus, some weird soul thing. I don't know. Okay, so the Black Death or the bubonic plague took Europe by storm from 1347 to 1353, and it was bad the whole time. It was terrible. I was reading this, I'm like, wow, is there movies about this? So it started due to unhygienic habits and nobody cleaning themselves. I mean, it came from rats and their fleas, but they were just in the house and everybody was dirty as is, so they were really susceptible to getting sick. So that is really what caused it. And it started off like the common flu, but if not treated within 24 hours, the bacteria would spread all over the body, like all throughout the body. And it brought unimaginable conditions. I mean, people were sweating profusely, fevers, terrible. They're turning like, purple and stuff, really weird spots on them, and getting these big boils all over their body. I mean, and these things would get as big as oranges. It was disgusting. It's filled with blood, pus. It's crazy. Over 1/3 of Europe's entire population was wiped out by this, and nobody could even find out a scientific reason. I mean, granted, they didn't really try very hard. They didn't really, know anything, but they didn't know anything. And most people would blame themselves. They said, "Oh, we're bad Christians. This is God's wrath. He's mad at us." And a lot of the time, they would beat themselves and like whip themselves because they were just bad Christians. The other ones, they would just blame the Jews because that's just what people did throughout history. I mean, coronavirus, who knows? The Jews, maybe, I don't know. Apparently, according to everybody else. But yeah, they blame the Jews, and even the Pope was saying, "Yeah, go and attack the Jews, go kill the Jews." So that's crazy. Even though I'm very sure that Jews were also probably dying of this, but it doesn't matter. Okay. The Black Death continued. So people would hide in sewers to try and avoid it, which just sounds like a terrible idea. I mean, yes, they were quarantined, they weren't around people, but they were also not clean as is. So all the weird diseases in like the sewer that were probably crawling up in there killed them. Most of the time, they would just die. A lot of people would drink arsenic or mercury, poison themselves, die. They would even try just to not think about death, the plague, or just sadness. They would just not think about those things, thinking it would help. So everybody try really hard to not think about coronavirus. Let's get this thing out of here. They wouldn't exercise. They would not even go outside. They would not bathe, which was usual thing, so it's fine. Not eat meat, which actually kind of seems like it could make sense out of all these. And they would not have sex. No sex. There was none of that. Rich people would eat crushed up